Been seeing a very cool game between Rain and First. It looks like First has taken a decisive advantage, but he's only taken kind of an advantage. We have to be sure to account for the fact that, say, Rain... Oh, by the way, this is daily number 608, where we learn to be a better gamer. All that crap. This game is cool, and I'm excited by it. So, as a testament to Rain's skill, we see that Rain is actually able to retreat with most of his Colossi intact. Rain has actually built up a pretty substantial number of gateways himself. I think he's at 10. Yeah, there's the 10th one there. First does have a slight edge there. But it's always what we do to make use of these situations that is most important. So coming back to the first camp. Additional Immortals. Anything past 7, 8, 9 Colossus is too many. Immortals should be built. Excuse me, in place of that. So building Zealots as a response to opponents' Zealots seems fine. Was moving out to attack, but the instant this thing began, just pulling back slightly and of course taking an expand in the midst of all this. And again, as a testament to Rain's skill, Rain's like, well gosh, I better expand too. So here comes same play that we saw First do last time. I want you to note how kick-ass this positioning is. This is the exact same positioning we saw at that push that happened around the, was it 13-minute mark? Yeah, I guess it was 13-minute mark, but I actually can't rewind to that point. First moves along... Oops, there we go. First moves along this left half of the center slit and sends this Warp Prism down on this side. If for some reason the Warp Prism gets chased, the Warp Prism will retreat back to here, an area that's easily defended by this Giganto army. Imagine if, for instance, the Warp Prism moved along this top side. It could easily be chased down and units could work all the way up there, and the Warp Prism would have to pull to the far top right corner. This army has a nice relationship with this Warp Prism. But also, quite significantly, we can hit this third and this main base. And if he pulls back to defend the main, well, cool, this huge army swings into the third, which is the longest distance that Rain has to travel to defend these bases. I'm going across the ground distance there. Pretty sweet. Immortal harassment. Sees this whole army, narrowly escapes. Okay, cool. Well, if that's what you're doing, if you're sending everything to the third, I'll just kind of swing my army over here to this fourth base. Dropping Immortals, warping in Zealots in the main base. Briefly goes and denies this fourth, and look at how conservative an angle First moves up at. Here's some kick-ass calm, man. Oh my gosh. Moves up like this, because this Observer kind of has a sense of where the army is. And we're doing this warping here. Great. So far, so good. And look, actually is getting ready to cut up here. Look at how safe that is. Deny the fourth. Get out of there! And then is like, oh, well, okay, I saw your army move down. There's your army. Alright, now I can begin moving aggressively again. Even though this looks like a lot of attacking going on by First, and it is, it's very conservative angles, very conservative engagements. Continue dropping just to try to exploit. Dark Shrine also en route. And look, nice fourth base from First. Big ol' edge getting gained out of First, but soon enough he's going to be able to build a frick load of Archons. Get out of there, Warp Prism. And okay, now we see the whole army is there, so First is just going to continue to apply pressure at the front. Continue to build Immortals back home. He's at 6. He's going to be going up to 8. And Warp Prism will continue to try to do harassing. And, almost. Nope. Looks like the Warp Prism's still going to stay alive. So you'll see the instant the Rain actually moves out to attack, that's when First is like, oh baby, time to do some warp-ins back home. This is a pretty common move that we'll see Protosses doing more and more late game now. They'll chill at around 170 or so, with the money to be able to build up. I mean, we can easily flood some High Templar here. Most players do not do that. They wait until they really have to, so that way they don't get stuck maxed with no flexibility. So great, thanks to all these Zealot warp-ins, no problem. Let's just get in a ton of High Templar. Bam. for the big push. And of course, lots of gas. Num 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 gas. DTs from the warp prism up in the main base. Whoopsie daisies, totally mistimed my click. And the final battle is thusly to follow. Really nice DT warping in to pick off these key areas in the main base. So when the final battle comes down to it, and we're going to be re-reviewing this, we see that both players seem to have pretty good armies, but wow, we look at Reigns and we're like, whoa, 142 supply. Now I have to do something that I don't want to do, but we're going to math. I'm just kidding, I totally love mathing. Alright, 142 supply. I'm going to be removing this. How much of this is zealots? Well, we see there's 24 zealots for Reign. I'm going to round up and say that that's 50 supply of zealots. Whereas First only has 20 supply of zealots. So in fact, when we come back to this, let's subtract 20 here. We get 107 for First. We're going to subtract 50 here. We get 92. Why did I subtract all those things off? Because zealots suck when you have all the time warps, all the Colossus, and all the Archons. Here are the zealots for Reign. They die really fast. And it's not even that they die fast, but Firsts died faster. Look at what's left over. In fact, I will come back to this thing. 93 to 101. Well, okay. But what's left in this army... Oh, actually, Reign is morphing in a whole bunch of dudes. So this doesn't count. In fact, I will pull back to just before this moment. Should be at around 22. Ah, I kind of whiffed it. That's fine. Yeah, alright, look. Some of the supply is in these zealots back here. Reign's army is just falling faster, alright? The important thing is that zealots stink in the max army engagements. First has almost no zealots in this engagement. And only once he's gained the edge does he move in. Zealots are great if they can get all the way up to the Colossus, but that only happens quite late in these battles. So this might look a little bit tenuous, but it's actually no big deal. A whole bunch of units can be morphed in for First. Archons can be morphed in there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So what I'm actually going to do is I want to review 16 minutes to the end with the Reign cam actually on. Here is this push that we saw happen early on, where all the players are going to be getting a lot of them zealots down to a very small number for Reign, which rapidly get removed. So actually Reign now I think has one zealot. Alright, cool. So Reign's like, Ermagerd, do harassment, harass! Okay, so where do the zealot warp-ins happen? Right now, 3 zealots. Reign thinks to himself, alright, well I'm going to try to expand, because my opponent no doubt is also expanding. Down this backside. Okay, we're up to 11 zealots. When did that happen? Well, gee, it's because we saw this push at the front. We had this drop coming in at the back. We gotta get those units up. See these zealots warping in? Ah, let me deny that drop from doing damage. Well, darn, I built some extra zealots. Now, these zealots in the main base for First, these are definitely going to die. There's no question about that. But Reign's zealots will most likely live. Look at this, already up to 17. Look at the production. Wow, more zealots being morphed in for Reign. So even though all the zealots of First are going to die, First is totally screwing up Reign's composition. He's making all these zealot warp-ins happen. Look, there's some more zealots that get warped in. So as Rain, you might think to yourself, cool, I'm maxed, I'm safe. You have 24 zealots in your army. And you're actually going to leave these 3. Alright. Stalker's getting morphed in, sort of equally awkward. More zealots being warped in. Equally awkward. Really nice. So to sum up this game, up to the 6-minute mark, we saw some sensational scouting, some really sweet responding, like this cancel play, and all that cool scouting that we talked about in part 1, let first stay alive up until this point. The mid-game was marked by a surprising amount of passivity. Was by a surprising lack of passivity. Surprising lack of passivity here from first. He actually steps straight up with a robo facility, getting the warp prism, zooming in to do some of these attack drops. All the while adding on absolutely absurd numbers of gateways. Like literally, when he's near broke, warping these in. Maybe this attack doesn't work, maybe it does. No panicked reaction. As a result, this allowed first to get up a whole bunch of gateways. So when the first attack happened, it was pretty close. It could have gone either way. But this warp prism warp in action allowed him to stay alive. And first close out the game with a nice trifecta of awesomeness. Taking an expansion. Wow. 2. Denying this 4th base. In addition to 3. Doing non-stop warp prism harass to force his opponent to get the wrong maxed army composition. The end. A 23-minute game lasted us for a little over an hour worth of daily time. Because that is the depth going on in this game nowadays. That's why I like watching it so much. So let's go ahead and take a couple of questions. Subscribers off. Annis Crumble says, Day 9, could you explain a little bit more about the aha moment of this daily where you made a big deal about a zealot drop, but it didn't seem terribly game-changing? Is the point that lots of gates provide good versatility, or that first did some crazy tactic? It's 2 things. 1, we can clearly see that it's safe. Oh, what the hell, a safe move? Oh, and get this, not just safe in the now, as in we can do this attack, and if it fails, we'll still be able to stay alive. If we do this attack, it can't get completely denied and shut down. Wow, it's safe, and safe long-term, cool. But 2, it's a really easy way to potentially win right then and there. And of course, begins to force our opponent to make too many zealots. Smallpox wants to know if I still own that pair of pants from yesterday. Yes. Still huge gaping hole. Goofy Marine says, Day 9, is Stargate a safer move than trying to get your own robo units? No, I think that the you're gonna have to get the robo no matter what in this matchup. Like, totally flat, period. You need to get that robo up. So, given the choice, I would almost certainly go for, yeah, I can spin books and shit. I would almost certainly go for the robo in that spot. I mean, if you did go Stargate, you'd get an Oracle up, but the Oracle's so expensive and has no flexibility in that position. I mean, what really are you going to do? I mean, truly, what can you do? Like, you can't really attack with the Oracle. It needs to stay home and defend. You can't exactly build 2 Oracles because you've down, like, so much money. That's right. You all think it's skill, but I'm just giving you the finger while I'm doing this. Yeah, so I think I dropped it. I didn't set it down. That was a drop. Hey, 1919 says, Day 9 in a silver level where a lot of early gate pushes are common. Would the DTs be a good defense to it? Yes, I recommend you try exactly this opening. Just rewatch part 1. Little Big 11 says, Day 9, wouldn't you say that Rain's lack of gateways is more a result of him having 2 robos and just not having the economy for it? I mean, yeah. I mean, again, it's about the timing of it. First, delayed getting his second robo and threw down a whole bunch of gates early. But if you do go for 2 robos fast, you're just broke. You are completely broke. Just 2 Colossus production is insanely expensive. It is freaking insane. So yeah, that was it. But I mean, still something you can totally exploit. So when I'm saying things like, wow, look at this, Rain only has 4 gateways, he only has 4 gateways, he only has 4 gateways. It's not like Rain is messing up. Rain is limited to that many. And then the drops further prevent Rain from building those gateways, because then Rain has to build a whole bunch of zealots. Okay. Shiny Bobblehead asks an interesting question. Danon, you made a point about the gateway count, but when Rain scouts first single Colossus attack, why doesn't he just stop Colossi production in favor of more gates? Because he already has the 3 Colossus lead. Because you just need a lot of robo units in general, and if you're not building out of the robos, that's what the loss is. I mean, we talk about the Colossus a lot, but Immortals are just as important. So in reality, what's happening is Rain's going, holy shit, I need to get to 7 or 8 Colossus fast, so that way I can get out 6 or so Immortals fast, and then do the attack. And if he delays on that and throws down a bunch of gateways, I mean, Rain actually has to do an earlier attack. He can't stay passively. Despite the fact that we said First did a kind of weird, funky play, First also had equally active robos. Just not equally early robos. Last question. Let's do it. Last question from Southwig, which I think is great. Day 9, was canceling the DT Shrine putting First in severe danger? Let's actually go back and look at that moment. It's at the 6-minute mark. This is something I would be leery of recommending to everybody. Oops, I rewound too much. At this phase, this Mothership Core has already spotted this. It's very easy to be like, okay, well, I'm going to be clever and I'm going to cancel it. And then your opponent just attacks you anyways and you die. You have to have kind of a lot of faith that your opponent both saw it and is responding to it in a certain way. Even if you are, you know, at your whatever level, it doesn't really matter. Even if you are at low or high skill level and your opponent can't be trusted, you can just go Nexus and build 1 DT from here and then just proceed as normal. I mean, that's one of the reasons why only 2 gateways are coming up, is because it's supposed to be 1 DT here for attacking and 1 DT here for defending. That's really it. So this is, I would say, a bold play that First can get away with because Rain is world class. But I mean, if you're just, you know, on the ladder against some guy, you can just let the Dark Shrine finish and build 1 DT and move in, and you'll end up expanding at like 645 instead of 615, but you know, whatever. That's the show. I'm going to be scouring for some post Hellbat nerf Terran games, so that way we can get back and doing some Terran dailies, because we've been doing mainly Zerg and Protoss. Mainly Protoss, and I'm aware of it. It's just kind of unfortunate because it's like, come on, where are the games? It's like that. So thanks so much for watching. It was wonderful. I'll see you tomorrow for tomorrow's daily, and I'll see you Friday. I'm going to be playing the Swapper and then some other game. I don't know what other game yet because Swapper seems pretty short. Also, blow all your money on the Steam sale. Bye!